Break forth into joy. we invite everyone to take your seats and prepare for this morning's service. On behalf of the worship committee, welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Columbia. I'm Linda Brennison, a member of the worship committee and your president-elect. Our minister is the Reverend Stephen Robinson, who will be speaking and officiating today. We warmly welcome families with children. We offer nursery child care during our service for infants and children up to 4 years old. We also have a designated seating area, sort of right back there, and a carpet in the alcove for children ages 4 to 7 and their parents or caregivers. Feel free to bring toys available in the back of the social hall back there for quiet play. Sometimes that helps. Today, all children beyond nursery age, 4 years of age, will be joining one another in their CYRE classes after the Story for All Ages. Please note that we live stream our services on YouTube and post them on our website. If you would prefer not to be on camera, the alcove, this area back here, is out of view of the camera. We'd like to know that we are a congregation who welcomes and affirms everyone. We're a diverse and non-creedal religion, which means we don't have to believe the same to treat one another the same, with respect, compassion, dignity, and equity. We encourage everyone to stay connected with our community by keeping an eye on the following communications. Our recurring events are included in the calendar with your order of service. You'll see those. But special events are also coming up. For special events, we provide an emailed newsletter, which we call the e-blast. And if you give us your email address, you can be included in receiving that weekly communication. So also, we'd ask you to please listen to any special announcements from our communications committee, which will be at the end of today's service. We're delighted to welcome all our guests and visitors. We would love to meet you if you'd be willing to introduce yourself. Today, Kathy Paget is assisting with bringing the microphone to our visitors. If you are willing and able, please stand and wait for the microphone to reach you. Then share your name and where you're from. If you've brought guests, we invite you to introduce them as well. So if you just raise your hand if you'd like to be introduced with Kathy. There we go.
Hi, my name is Ron Brown. I'm here with my wife, Dakota. We just recently moved here from Central Illinois. I've only been living here a few weeks, and we're really excited to be here with you guys this morning.
Welcome.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ezra. I'm a friend of Bethany's, so visiting today. Thank you.
Good.
Hi, stand up, would you please? I'm Chuck Ashley, and these are my children, our surrogate children. These are my adopted children, Kaylee and Ben. They're husband and wife, and we've been taking care of them for years, and they've been taking care of us for years. Say hi to them after the service, please.
Okay, I believe that is all the visitors for today. So visitors, if you'd like to learn more about UUCC, visitor cards are in the pocket on the back of each chair. Just fill one out and place it in the collection plate when it comes around later on, and then we can email you about our events. We also have information on the membership table. The membership table is in the social hall, and it's a table with a red tablecloth, and it has a lot of information on it for you. Our board members and committee chairs welcome your questions and comments. Our board members wear green name tags, such as I have here, and we just want to thank you for being with us today. Today's flowers are donated by Bud and Chuck Ashley. Thank you. Now, please silence all devices as we center ourselves on today's service and listen to the prelude.
It's my pleasure to invite the singers of our choir, Chalice Voices, forward to sing today's prelude, I'll Walk You Through the Rain by Amy F. Vernon. This is our first time coming back together for the new season. And any of you who are here today or watching online, if you have an interest in singing with the choir, please send me an email or come up to the piano after the service. I'd be happy to add you to the email list and invite you to sing with us in the upcoming weeks and months.
Thank you, Chalice Voices. That was beautiful. It's great to have our choir back going. That is wonderful, just beautiful. Please join me, if you will, standing together in body or spirit for our congregational covenant. It is printed in your order of service if you need the words. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve others in community. Thus do we covenant with one another. You may be seated. Today, to begin our service, as we do always, lighting our chalice, I invite Scott Johnson is going to come up We are focusing on our new members in this month of August, and Scott is one of those new members. And we welcome not only into this community, but also to light our chalice today. Spirit of light and life, come to us. Thank you, Scott.
I invite you to join in singing our opening hymn. It's number 389, Gathered Here. Please rise in body or spirit to join in singing. I invite you first to listen one time as I sing the melody. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near. And please join me in singing all in unison 2 times through. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near. And finally, let's sing as a 2-part round. For those of you over in the alcove and in this section before the inner row, I'm going to ask you to start the melody and keep singing 2 times through as we just did. For those of you in this section on the other side of the aisle, I'm going to ask you to wait and sing with me. After they sing, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, we'll start, gathered here, to weave the 2 parts together. So everybody here, wait for a moment, and everybody on this side, singing from the beginning. 2 times through. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in the sorrows of body, gathered here in the
Thank you. You may be seated. This time I invite our children to join me down front for this story for all ages. think the crew is coming from the nursery. We'll hear them before we see them. But we'll go ahead and get started. Today I'm going to share a book with you, and that book is called Jabari Jumps. Can everybody see that? There's the crew. Good morning. We're reading Jabari Jumps by Gaia Cornwall. There's a little picture of the family. So, Jabari says, I'm jumping off the high diving board today, Jabari told his dad. Really? His dad said. The diving board was high and maybe a little bit scary, but Jabari had finished his swimming lessons and passed the swim test, and now the next thing was to get ready to jump off the diving board. Do you guys like jumping off diving boards? Into pools of water? Yeah, of course. I'm a great jumper, said Jabari. I'm not scared at all. Ooh, you can already see where this is going, right? So Jabari watched the other kids climb the very high ladder. It looks easy, Jabari said, but when his dad squeezed his hand, Jabari squeezed back. He was starting to get a little bit nervous. See that? So he stood at the bottom of the ladder and he looked all the way up to the top. Oh boy. So Jabari told the other kids behind him, you can go before me if you want to. It's all right. I'm thinking about the special jump that I'm going to do. And so he took some time and thought while all those kids were going in front of him. And then Jabari started to climb up the ladder and he said, man, the ladder is very tall. Are you okay? Called his dad. Yeah, I'm just a little tired. Well, maybe you should come down and take a rest. Yeah, I think a rest sounds like a good idea, Jabari said. That makes sense. So he decided to come down the ladder. When he got to the bottom, he said, oh, I just remembered something. I forgot to do my stretches. You can't jump off a diving board without doing your stretches. Stretches are very important, said his dad. I think tomorrow might be a better day for jumping off the diving board. The weather looks better tomorrow, I think. And so they both looked up at that diving board together and watching the kids jumping off, having fun. Looked like a pretty good day to jump off a diving board, right? It's okay to feel a little scared, his dad said. Sometimes I feel a little scared too, and I take a deep breath and I tell myself, I am ready. And you know what? Sometimes it helps me not to feel so scared and feel like there's a little surprise coming for me. And Jabari loves surprises, so he took a deep breath. Can y'all do that? Let the breath out and felt it fill his body from the ends of his hair right down to the tips of his toes. He looked up that ladder again and began to climb until he got to the top. He walked all the way to the end of the board, and what do you think happened? Any guesses? His toes were curling around the edge of the diving board. What do you think happened at the top of that diving board? You've been there before, right? Suspense is getting me. You thought we were going to find out. Jabari looked out as far as he could see, and he thought, I love surprises. And so he jumped. Yay! All the way to the bottom, off the diving board, to the bottom of the pool, and back up again, hitting the water with a splash. Down, 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 and all the way back up. And he was so happy. Can you guess what he did next? He climbed up the diving board and said, I'm going to go again. That is a wonderful story about getting afraid. Do you ever get afraid of things? Yeah, nothing. That's good. All right. Yeah. I bet the adults out there might say they get a little afraid sometimes, for sure. Well, you know what? Everybody in this room gets a little afraid sometimes, and it helps to take that deep breath and remind yourself that you are strong and that you can do this. And for us, all of us here, it helps to take that deep breath when we're most afraid and jump, take that leap. Thank you so much for coming down. I know that Jonathan has some great plans today. I've already seen some of the food back there. So great plans with the RE starts with great food. So follow Jonathan out for the RE program this morning. Thank you.
Please join me in singing the children out. The words are in your order of service. Learn your lessons well, my children. Seek your truth in the wide unknown. Love each other, work together, and search for wisdom and happiness.
All right. Everybody taking a deep breath. Reminding that you can jump off the diving board here at the UUCC. We have at least metaphorical water for you to land in. Speaking of that, taking a deep breath and standing with that feeling of fear, our opening words today come from a story in the life of Leonardo da Vinci that he shared when he was very young in the early 1400s, and shares this beautiful story. He writes, "Having wandered some distance among gloomy rocks, I came to the mouth of a great cavern, in front of which I stood some time astonished. Bending back and forth, I tried to see whether I could discover anything inside, but the darkness within prevented that. And suddenly there arose in me two contrary emotions, fear and desire. Fear of the threatening dark cave, desire to see whether there was anything marvelous within." At this point in our service, we invite you to share candles with us, share candles in this community, our joys and our concerns that we're holding. If you have a candle this morning, I invite you to come and briefly share that joy or concern, and then place your candle here.
Good morning, we're Bud and Chuck, and we have a candle of great joy today. And I want to preface this by letting anyone out here that may not know us, you might think that this is going to be a little unorthodox or weird or just not right. But the people that do know us know that we're unorthodox and weird and certainly not right. So go ahead and tell them, Chuck.
Hi there. Good morning, everybody, all my friends, my people. My mom died last Tuesday. No, hooray. Happy news. This is great news. Great news. We are so filled with joy. My whole family rejoices just like when my dad died. Remember, everyone, how we celebrated Bob? Today we celebrate Jessie. Jessie
Yes.
Sargent.
She had Alzheimer's, and she's no longer suffering. And that's what makes us happy.
She's got her full bag of marbles back.
And we brought cake.
We have brought cake. There's a big cake back there. You will notice the expression that is written on top of it. It says, "We love you more than oranges," which is an expression that my parents said to each other for the 74 years that they were married. This is something they said to each other. They loved each other dearly, both of them, to the day they died, both of them. And so this is something that I said to my mommy one last time. Mommy, I love you more than oranges. So everyone will share in our joy, share in the chocolate deliciousness of a really big cake back there. and sharing the wonderfulness. You will see Mama's picture. It's an old picture of her, but it's a really good picture of her. She was a tiny, beautiful little woman, very wise, a nurse, a happy, dippy little woman who was full of funny expressions, a very Southern woman. And she left this awful world and went on to the next one where her young, handsome Marine, I'm sure, was waiting to dance with her with a bag of oranges.
Sorry, I'll cry at anything, especially when it's sweet. So today is my stepmother's birthday, and she is turning 66, I believe, which is really special because this time last year she was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she is now healthy. She is completely in remission, and just having a great time getting back in shape, playing with the grandbaby and her dogs, and it's really, really wonderful. And then additionally, this coming week is my 1-year anniversary with my fiance. And say hi, Matt. And it has been just the most wonderful year, and I'm so thankful to him and to our little family for everything. And thanks. I love you.
Good morning. This is a candle of joy, and I'd really love to share this moment with Joan, with whom I had the most amazing 2 weeks plus 2 days going and coming at Chautauqua, New York. I see some heads nodding. I know Regina knows what Chautauqua is like, and Neil. But it's a slogan that was used some years ago in my teens when I was there. It's a resort where education and recreation meet. And being there, the program is so extensive that you really need to recuperate when you get home, because there is so much going on. For instance, we shared lecture space with Ken Burns, Nancy Youssef, and I even had a 4-minute stroll with Amna Nawaz, all of whom were on the lecture stage. And in the evening, there are entertainment programs. The Chautauqua Symphony Orchestra plays 3 times a week and occasionally brings in folks like Josh Groban. So we are recuperating, and it's wonderful to be back, but we miss the gathering of waters, so I'm using a candle today.
have a check here for $77. I'm going to be 77 on Thursday. I started coming here after I lost my wife, and I've never known a more loving and inclusive group anywhere. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Kate Heald, and I have a candle of concern. My wonderful yet pig-headed husband, we all know about that, Mike, has unexplained shortness of breath, which is worsening. Now, we've been at both the VA and outside the VA, cardiologist, pulmonologist, our internist, chiropractor, and no one has found a cause. So I am contemplating doing something like going to the Cleveland Clinic because I don't really know what else to do. But your positive thoughts are appreciated.
I don't have a candle, but anyway, I'm back. It's been about 4 months, 5 months, unexpected. It was going to be 3 months, but anyway, it got dragged out because my first CT assignment, I'm actually a medical professional, kind of fell through after I got there. Not good news. I told Bethany, I'm staying out here. Okay. But anyway, so we got another assignment. It lasted a little bit longer than I thought. But anyway, I'm back. It's good to be back with my family here. Thanks, y'all.
Good morning. Several Sundays ago, Jean, Jim, and I lit a candle for our friend Tom Howell, who had died the previous Saturday, and we thought that that lighting of the candle would be his memorial service. But no, the universe and his friends had a different plan in mind, because upon learning of his death, many people have come forward to me and to Jim and to Jean wanting to, the opportunity to say goodbye. He was involved in so many activities here in Columbia, the Sierra Club, Alliance Francaise, Tai Chi, walking around Eastminster Presbyterian Church, and we look forward to celebrating his life on September 8th, Tuesday evening at 5:30 here at the Unitarian Church. And it is indeed going to be a celebration of a person who we all knew parts of, but it's going to be joyous to tell stories and understand that wonderful man better. September 8th, 5:30 here. Thank you.
The last candle that we light represents our silent joys and concerns. Please join me in just a few deep breaths, remembering everything that's been shared. As we prepare for our offering today, reminder that our Share the Plate recipient is the Palmetto Place Children and Youth Services, and it's my pleasure to invite Heather Turner from the center to share a few words.
Thank you. I am much shorter, so I'm gonna have to lower this. Hopefully everyone can hear me now. Well, good morning. My name is Heather Turner, and I proudly serve with Palmetto Place Children and Youth Services. I was going to start with words that many of you know, but I'm not going to recite the full congregational covenant again. We've done that already. But that is what my talk is going to be a little centered on today. I've been kind of sitting with this for the past week, kind of turning it over like you would a stone to see what's underneath. What I kept landing on is this: a covenant isn't a statement, it's a practice. It's something that we believe once, and it isn't something that we believe once, it's something that we renew over and over in the choices that we make about where our love goes and what our service looks like. Today, I want to tell you where mine goes. I want to tell you about Palmetto Place. Palmetto Place is a shelter and youth services organization here in the Midlands, and our work is simple to say, yet hard to do. We serve runaway and homeless youth, teens and young adults who, for 100 different reasons, whether that's the home wasn't safe for them, their family fell apart, or the system failed them, make their way to us because they have nowhere else to stay that night. We give them a bed, we give them food, and then, because a bed and food is not always the whole answer, we give them something harder to give, a path back to stability. That path looks like a lot of things. It looks like our basic center program, which is often the first door a young person sees, sometimes literally in the middle of the night. It looks like transitional and rapid rehousing programs where we walk alongside young people for months, not days, excuse me, as they learn to hold down a lease, a job, and a life. It looks like life skills workshops where we teach them the most basic things that sometimes are hard to say out loud because you realize that no one has ever taught them those things. How to wash their clothes, how to cook a meal, how to clean. The importance of proper hygiene, or how to build a budget that doesn't collapse the first time they're out sick from work and losing pay. This year, it looks like something new too. We started a new program this year called Safe Futures. It's built for young people ages 15 to 24 who are navigating homelessness and substance abuse opioid crisis at the same time. We've learned that you cannot ask a young person to stabilize their housing while ignoring what's actually happening in their mind, body, and their families. Love has to meet people exactly where they actually are and not where we wish they were. I want to tell you about one young person before I wrap up. I did change details because privacy is, in its own way, an act of love and how we show that. She came to us at 16 years old. She had been couch surfing for months after things at home became unsafe for her. She was going to school whenever she was able to, and disappearing when she couldn't. When she first arrived at Palmetto Place, she didn't really speak at all. She kept her backpack and all her belongings that she came to us with tightly packed, as if she was ready to run at any moment. It took 2 weeks before she'd actually sit down and finish a meal with the other youth in the dining area. It took even longer before she'd open up and let a staff member assist her with her education, with a job, with anything. She just kept quiet and to herself. But slowly, and I want to emphasize the slowly part because that's how real change happens, she started to trust the routine. She started participating in our life skills. She started going to staff to ask for support and help in different areas. She got a part-time job. She reconnected with an aunt who wanted to help but had no idea how to find her. When she left our program, she had an apartment lined up, a job that she had been consistently working for 3 months, and maybe most importantly, a phone full of adults who knew her by name and knew that if she called, we would pick up and answer. I think about her often, not because her story is unusual. We actually see some version of that pretty often with the youth that we serve, but because of what it teaches me about our covenant. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. It's not a sentiment, not a feeling that we have about strangers from a distance. It's a discipline. It's showing up for that same struggling person on day 1 and on day 90. And trust, when that trust finally opens up and breaks through. Service is prayer. I think about that every time one of our staff members sits down with a youth at 11 o'clock at night because that's when they finally feel like it's quiet enough for them to process their thoughts, process their day, and get that support that they may need at that time. Excuse me. That's not separate from prayer. That is the prayer. It's the hands that are doing what the heart believes. To dwell together in peace, that's not the absence of conflict. It's the daily, unglamorous work of building a house, a program, and a community where a scared 16-year-old can slowly learn that not every door is going to slam in her face. To seek knowledge and freedom, that's the budgeting workshops, the cooking classes, the housing voucher paperwork. Freedom isn't just an idea. For a homeless young person, freedom is knowing how things work, because ignorance and instability are often the same trap wearing two different names. So when we talk about renewing our covenant for the year ahead, I don't think it needs to be very complicated. I think it means asking, where is my love actually going? Not the love that I say that I have, but the love that shows up every day as a volunteer shift, as a bag of groceries, or as a listening ear for kids who may have never had one. Palmetto Place can't do this work alone. Our covenant only means something when, for example, this congregation like this decides that service is its prayer isn't just a line, but it's something that you live out every day of your life. So this year, those hours and dollars and attention to young people, most of the world has stopped looking at. The girl that I told you about now has an apartment. She has maintained a job for over a year. She has people who know her name and who she knows she can call and depend on if she is in a crisis. That happened only because a community of people, some of them you may never meet, some of them may be in this room, decided that love needed somewhere to go and chose to send it to the kids that nobody else is watching or thinking about. So that's the covenant that we as Palmetto Place will be continuing to renew this year. Thank you.
Thank you. We're so glad to not only share in the work, but share in the covenant to continue the work. I'm going to ask Anna to introduce our offertory song.
Our offertory musical selection today is the third movement of Mozart's Sonata in F major. I chose it because it is bold, beautiful, and energetic to give us strength for our work today and the year ahead.
Invite our ushers to come and receive our offering. We receive our offering today, commitment to our good work. Thank you, Anna, for the beautiful music today. Last week we gathered for our ingathering of our waters, which signals the beginning of our church year. And today we focus on not only renewing our covenant together, but also celebrating those leaders who will lead us in this great work here at the UUCC. We're going to take just a second and recognize those who completed service last year. So if you served on a committee, either in chairing that committee or as a member of that committee, please stand at this time. And for our, if you will remain standing, I'd like to add our outgoing board, the board that served in the last year. If you will please stand. And I would like for you to just take an opportunity right now to thank this great group of leaders for their work in this previous year here at the UUCC. You may be seated. Over the next few months in our chalice lighting experience, we're going to be introducing you to our committees, and so we'll have opportunities to do that over the course of our year, learning about the committee work and the members of those committees. I would like to take this opportunity at this time to install our current board, our board that will be leading us in this next year of our church season. So and I'd like to start with that by asking them to come up front and to start with our new president of our board, Connie Quirk. Please give Connie a hand. And then, if you will join in order, we are I see our past president making his way up here. So we'd like to especially recognize the great leadership that George did in the previous year. And the way that we reward the great work of our past president is we invite them to stay on the board for another year. You're welcome, George. All right, our president-elect, Linda Brennison. Our treasurer, Michelle Curry. And then our secretary, Laura Culler. These are our officers on our board and additional at-large members, Bonnie Stornak. Bonnie is here. John McMaster, who is not able to be here with us, but will be serving. Caroline Eastman. And then Kevin McKinney is making his way down. And then attending the board meetings, I'm not officially a board member, but we will invite him up because he does come to all the meetings. Our finance chair, Jim Kimbler, if you will come. And if you will join me in order or in an insert in your order of service, we will do our installation of our Board of Trustees. The earliest Unitarians emphasized the priesthood of the believer, that all persons have particular gifts for ministry, that all of us are called to be each other's keepers. These persons who stand before us, who have been chosen by the people of this congregation to serve among us, and they have willingly accepted that task. Do you, the duly elected members of the Board of Trustees, having carefully considered the duties and responsibilities of your ministry, promise to serve this congregation with diligence, patience, kindness, and respect?
I do. I recognize that it is both an honor and a responsibility to be entrusted with this ministry, and I dedicate myself to embodying the principles of Unitarian Universalism and to making the UUCC a safe and supportive community for the search for meaning and purpose.
And congregation, will you stand in affirmation of this board? Let us, all of us, rededicate ourselves to one another and to our Unitarian Universalist principles and purposes. Love is at the center of all that we are here and all that we do. We affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person.
We believe that each and every person is important.
We affirm and promote justice, equity, and compassion in human relations.
We believe all people should be treated fairly.
We affirm and promote acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth.
We believe that the UCC is a place where all people are accepted and where we keep on learning together.
We affirm and promote a free and responsible search for truth and meaning.
We believe that each person must be free to search for what is true and right in life.
We affirm and promote the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process.
We believe that everyone here should have a voice and vote about the things that concern them.
We affirm and promote the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all.
We believe that we should work for a peaceful, fair, and free world.
We affirm and promote, respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part.
We believe that we should care for our home, the earth.
And in the spirit and grounding of our covenant, let us reaffirm ourselves to our good work. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest
Truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve others in community. Thus do we covenant with one another.
Please join me in welcoming and charging and installing our new Board of Trustees. And thank you. The congregation can be seated. The board is going to remain standing up here during the sermon. No, I'm just kidding. That was mostly for Michelle. The board can be seated. Thank you so much. I'd like to say that Don put me up to that, but that was really on my own. Sorry. As we think about our church year that is ahead of us and the daunting task of not only the work that these committees, this board is taking on, but all of us as a congregation, as we look into our culture, as we look at our world around us and think about the work that must be done, the work that we have to engage, reminds me that we are standing just as Da Vinci did on the outside of that cave. And it's very easy when we're standing looking at this year ahead of us and the work that we are called to do, to feel those two emotions that Da Vinci named. The fear is definitely an option, and of course the desire. And maybe that's the oldest human experience, standing at something like that we can't see, knowing that we can't remain there forever, on the edge of that diving board, wondering whether the courage to move forward will be greater than the fear that is telling us, just turn back. The unknown before us today is that year that is ahead of us as we are installing our board to lead us, this group that takes on the responsibility of this congregation and leading this congregation and protecting this congregation and charting a path of goals for this congregation and our work. The board meets on Wednesday nights, and we have a meeting coming up on Wednesday night of this week to do and engage this good work. It is listed on the calendar as 6 p.m. to whenever. And if that's if you're a newborn member, if that frightens you, it should. We love spending time together and engaging the work. And we love talking about it too, so. We tried meeting as a board on Sunday afternoons to try to maximize that time, but what we ran into is We realized after a sermon, if we then announce any board members that would like to stay around and for a meeting, we find that the whole congregation sticks around at that point. That's going to land with you a little bit later, right? Any board members after us? See? I'm hearing my teenage daughter's voice in my head say to me, you know, Dad, a joke that you have to explain isn't worth telling. She's right. But as we look at this year that is ahead of us, obviously we've got so much work to do standing at this cave. It's easy to listen to the fear. We see the injustice in our current climate. We see the cruelty. We see corruption. We see political and cultural forces that are challenging some of the values that you and I hold most dear in our hearts. We see people becoming afraid of differences and differences of opinions. We see attempts to narrow that parameter of who belongs and whose voice matters and whose identity gets respected in our culture and whose freedom is protected. And sometimes that temptation is just to retreat into that fear and let the fear take over. I had this experience in thinking about this service about a month ago when I was reading Maggie Haberman's book, Jonathan Swan's book entitled Regime Change, which is really a kind of a pulling back and looking at some of the things that happened in the current administration. Reading that book, I felt myself disappearing into fear and to despair. I would move to anger and then realize that the anger would just get overcome by that fear and that despair. That fear can be very troubling, disruptive, creating worry in our hearts. All that attention and reasonable action that we give to this fear, this kind of worry about our future, is absolutely a real experience for you and me. Many people believe that the only escape from that fear is somehow getting some certainty about the future. That if we do A, B, C, and D, the conditions are going to change. As if we have some kind of power or control to change the conditions, and if those conditions change, then we will be happy and we can let go of that fear, but that is a mistake. It's an illusion, and even if we achieved it temporarily, we would be vulnerable again to that shift back to those unsatisfactory conditions. So we just look at the year ahead of us, and we have to negotiate our relationship with our fear as we think about what is around us. Fear from the internal as a congregation. We have fear in this place, right? Fear of what is going to happen to us. If you want to see a fearful experience in the congregation, come to a budget meeting. As we're looking at the year ahead of us, there's fear. Fear is the predominant feeling in the room, and we have to learn to negotiate that. But we also have fear from the world around us, and it is a valid fear of what we are dealing with in our current climate. So, as we look out into that year in front of us, how do we negotiate our relationship with fear? Friedrich Nietzsche says that the danger of allowing fear to become the organizing principle of our lives may be the most dangerous thing that we as humans engage. And he challenged us to become people who create our values rather than simply inheriting them from all of the culture that is around us. So what if we, instead of giving into that fear, started nurturing our desires here? What if we let that language of desire, that language of I want this, move to language of covenant of I will commit to this? As another philosopher, Kierkegaard, says, at some point we encounter those choices that cannot be solved simply by gathering more information. Did you hear that? That is a good statement for a Unitarian Universalist congregation to hear. I'm going to repeat it again. At some point, we encounter choices that cannot be solved simply by gathering more information. There comes a moment we have to make a choice. We have to commit ourselves. And Kierkegaard says we have to take that leap, not that leap into irrational work, but a leap into commitment. And then the point we stop asking ourselves, can I be certain that this work that we're doing is actually going to make a difference? Is it going to worth? And maybe we ask ourselves, is this worth committing my life to? Is the work of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Columbia worth committing your life to? That's a question I wrestle with a lot. And it's a question I hear so many of you wrestling with. Is it worth committing my life to? Because we are not a perfect place. We do have our flaws, but we are engaging the work every day. As Plato's image of the cave wasn't necessarily getting into the cave, as Da Vinci was, for Plato it was, how are you going to crawl out of the cave? Because Plato saw prisoners that are forced to just look at shadows on the wall and deal with that reality. That is the experience of our culture today that seems to be fine with being imprisoned and just accepting the shadows on the wall as if they are the real thing. But we can never do that here. We are the people who say, I'm going to turn and face the sun. I'm going to crawl out of the cave. And we have to ask ourselves, are we willing to do that work? Because if you say, I will commit to the UUCC in this year ahead of us, I will commit to our covenant until the UUCC lets me down, you're setting yourself up for failure. Because there's no person who gets it right all the time. There's no family who functions in perfection. There's no organization that does not have its struggles. There's no board who does everything right. There's no congregation that does not hold the ability to harm in the same hands of love and justice. Because if we wait until it is certain that justice will prevail, we may wait forever. If we wait until we are certain that love is going to be reciprocated, we won't ever love. If we wait until we know that this congregation is going to thrive before we invest ourselves in it, we may never build the congregation that we want to be. If we wait until we know that the future is safe before we defend the vulnerable, we may discover that safety was never really available for anyone. The promise is our commitment, promising to listen in a culture that talks to each other, talks at each other. Promise to remain curious, even though curiosity is being discouraged these days. We were promised to repair what is broken when practicing compassion, to speak truth into the webs of nonsense around us. We promise to make room for each other, and we promise not to let fear determine the boundaries of our love. Doing a radical promise is what a covenant is all about. So as we stand at this year at the entrance of this cave, we're actually in a little different situation than Da Vinci. According to Da Vinci's story, he had to decide, am I going to let fear take over or am my curiosity going to take over? And he, of course, engaged his curiosity and desire and walked alone into the cave. But look around you right now. Just take a minute and look to your right, look to your left. You're not Da Vinci. Not the way I meant it. What I mean is you're not standing on the edge of this year, this scary culture that we're trying to make a difference in. You're not standing on the edge of that cave alone. You are surrounded with people who are committing to a covenant together. Doesn't mean that we're going to pretend that the road ahead of us is always safe. Doesn't mean that we're ignoring injustice. It doesn't mean that we're going to be cheerful in the face of suffering. It doesn't mean we're going to walk blindly into that cave and not think about the risk. As a matter of fact, if you walk down our RE hall, our wing there, you will see a risk assessment. We recognize the work of justice comes with its risk. But our covenant doesn't promise us a world without darkness. It promises that you and I will carry the light of this chalice together into that dark cave, and maybe, perhaps that's enough. Maybe we don't have to see the whole cave. We don't have to see the outcome. Maybe we just take one step into the light and one more step into that light, and then all of a sudden we reach out and we realize that we're not by ourselves, but we are hand in hand with the members of this congregation, making a difference in our world, in our city, in our state, and our community around us every day by committing to this work. Every life that we invest in, we are making a difference. Someone there is going to remind us of what we believe when we lose hope. Someone is going to remind us that we're not alone when we feel like we're alone and isolated. Someone's going to say, keep going, and we will do that. We take this journey together as a community. Fear is just one of the voices speaking to us. So I invite us, as we stand on the cave of this year ahead of us, let us lean into our desire and our covenant together. May we commit ourselves to covenant as a community and take the journey into the darkness.
I invite you to rise in body or spirit and join in singing our closing hymn, number 1028 in the Teal hymnal, The Fire of Commitment.
Please remain standing for our closing words that also come from Da Vinci. It had long since come to my attention that people of accomplishment rarely sat back and let things happen to them. They went out and happened to things.
Please join in singing our congregational benediction.
Invite you to be seated for just a second. Linda Brennison, our service leader, has a couple of announcements.
I have
I'll say it that way.
a couple of announcements, and I'd like to precede the announcements by, as chair, we were talking about committees today, as chair of the Communications Committee, I want to thank everyone who has cooperated so well with our new method of sending in Sunday announcements. There's a Google form in the e-blast. All you have to do is click on it, fill it out, comes to me, and your announcement shall be made. So you don't always have to worry and that you need to make an announcement during Candles of Community, because usually I already have it. So today, here are our announcements. Thank you for your patience in listening to them. These are important to the community and to the groups that are working very hard on their events. So please pay close attention. Thank you. First of all, we have an announcement from our Animal Ministry Committee. This year is the 15th annual UUCC Blessing of the Animals. And Stephen will be helping us out with blessing of those animals. We invite you to bring your beloved companions. All pets are welcome. Just bring them on a leash or whatever. This free event is open to UUC members, friends, and the wider community. Absolutely free. This is a service that we provide to our community and to our beloved members and friends. It will take place on Sunday, October the 4th at 3 p.m. on the UUCC Hayward Street lawn. This is over here. So come celebrate the animals who bring so much love and joy into our lives. The Animal Ministry looks forward to seeing you and your furry, feathered, scaled, or otherwise wonderful friends. Stay tuned. You'll be getting some more details about this event as it gets closer to the date of October 4th, Sunday. Now I have another animal-centered announcement, this one from our fundraising committee. There's another event going on that is a fundraiser, and it's called Balenciaga. And it is a fashion and dog show. Well, what this means is there's dogs and there's fashion. What better combination could you have, in my opinion? The fashion comes from local models. Local designers have designed fashion for them to wear. The pets, the animal part, comes from local shelters, and they'll be available for adoptions. So that's why it's an animal fashion show. All proceeds will go to the participating animal shelters and to the church. You can get your tickets online, or you can contact Blake Carrollton. Blake, there's Blake, and he will be happy to help you get your tickets and come to the fashion show, and maybe go home with a pet. Next Sunday, here's another announcement, this one from the Kitchen Committee. Stone Soup Sunday, next Sunday, August the 30th. Every fifth Sunday, we have a potluck, and the Kitchen Committee has aptly named it the Stone Soup Sunday. So be sure and add your favorite potluck dish to the table for our next Stone Soup Sunday. We can't do it without your dish. We're looking forward to all the yummy food and the wonderful conversation that is a hallmark of our UUCC gatherings. Please be sure to bring your food ready to share. This is very important. You know, we have a small kitchen, small number of volunteers trying to get everything set up for a potluck for a lot of people. So please bring it all completely ready, on a plate and everything. We don't have room for you to prepare it in the kitchen. Sorry about that. But we'd love to have you and your dish. Let's see, anything else on that one? Okay, if you want to volunteer to help or need any further information, please see Melody Smith. She's right up front here in the white blouse, and she'll be glad to help you with any information you need about potluck. Now, I have two important announcements from our caring committee. These are about memorial services. We did receive the request to announce Boone Dawson's memorial service, which will be next Saturday, August 29th. From 4 to 4:30, there will be a memorial service, and from 4:30 to 8, there will be a celebration of life by playing board games, card games, telling stories, eating, drinking, and friendship. All are welcome to Boone Dawson's memorial service. And then the second memorial service I'd like to mention to you, and hope, you know, if you knew these people, you will come, is Tom Howell's memorial service. On Tuesday, September the 8th, Tuesday, we will have a celebration of life in remembrance of our good friend, Tom Howell. A gathering to celebrate Tom's life through shared stories and memories will be held from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. in the UUCC Social Hall. Refreshments of coffee, tea, and cookies will be provided. The Caring Committee welcomes contributions of finger foods and light hors d'oeuvres. Please bring these on a serving plate so they can go right on the table. If you can help with cleanup, please let Jim Kimbler know. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Linda.
You're welcome.
All right, and we are so glad that everyone was here today. If you're visiting with us for the first time or second time or third time, give us a chance to get to know you and you us. Please stick around in our social hall. Bud and Chuck have a cake out there, and so to kind of kick off, a big cake, I see it from here. To kick that off, what I would like for you to do is, Bud and Chuck, will you please stand just for a second? And we will close out our service today by everybody turning to them and just saying, "We love you more than oranges." Ready?